Hey guys, Matt here, and today we're going to be talking about the GT-190 from Huion. This is a pen display tablet that connects to your computer, and you can actually interact and draw right on the screen, much like you would with a tablet and a stylus, but it actually connects to your computer. So let's go ahead and take a look. So the idea of one of these screens is that instead of drawing on paper, then transferring it over the computer, you just do it all right on the screen into a program and you have it all digitized right from the start instead of having that extra step of actually scanning everything in and getting it into your computer. With this, you can just do it right there and everything will be in the document already. For those of us that do draw, moving over to one of these can be a little bit daunting as we're just used to paper, and moving over to a screen is definitely a different experience. And what's great about this GT-190 is the price, because you can test it out for not too much money. It comes in at $450 US, and comparing to other tablets on the market like this is actually a pretty decent price. So in the box you get the screen, you get the pen that is rechargeable with a few different tips, a pen holder, and all the cables that you're going to need to connect it to your computer. And I was pretty happy with this, that it came with everything that you need to get started right away. Now if you go look online, there's a lot of different reviews talking about their experiences with this, and I have to say mine has been pretty positive. There's been a lot of issues with the drivers, but for me personally, I haven't had any issues whatsoever, and once I took it out, installed everything, it worked perfectly fine from the get-go. But that experience has been different for certain people, so it's worth noting that it may be different for you if you decide to pick this up, but for me, it's worked perfectly fine. So getting to the screen, it's a 1440 by 900 resolution display, which is pretty low, but I found that it's not too big of a deal. You do see the pixels when you're drawing, but it doesn't really affect the drawing itself, so as long as you can get past that, it's pretty good. One thing though is that the viewing angles are not good at all. You pretty much have to be square right in front of the screen for it to look decent. If you move a little bit, it's going to throw everything off and just not look very good at all. But if you can get square on it, it looks okay, it's passable, but I wouldn't use this for anything that's color sensitive, as the color's a little bit off also, but for just doing line drawings and basic things like that, it works pretty well. Now to connect this to your computer, you're going to need the drivers like I was talking about earlier, and you can download those from Huion's site, or you can use a CD that comes in the box. I got mine from the site because my iMac doesn't have a CD drive, and they installed perfectly fine and everything worked from the get-go. This works with all the major programs out there like Photoshop, Illustrator, and Corel's programs. I haven't had any issues with compatibility or anything like that. Pretty much I open up the app and it works just fine without any additional setup. And really it's just the drivers. If you get the drivers installed correctly, everything should be working fine after that. The pen itself is pretty good. It feels kind of cheap and lightweight, but it has two buttons on there so you can program it to do whatever you want, and it is pressure sensitive, which I think is one of the most important things here. Overall, it's a pretty nice pen. It is rechargeable, but uses a proprietary USB cable, so if you lose that, you're kind of out of luck. But the charge does last quite a while. It charges in about an hour and lasts pretty long. I've only had to charge it maybe 2 or 3 times since I've had the tablet, so the pen is pretty good on its own. It also comes with a holder so that when you're not using it, you can just place it there, and also comes with 8 tips that you can go ahead and change out if you ever need to. The screen comes with an adjustable stand so you can adjust the height that you want to draw on, and it does work with other mounts so you can put it onto a swivel mount if you want to attach it permanently and you can move it around to wherever you want. You can pretty much get it into any position you want and make it the most comfortable experience for you. There are a few negatives to this though. One is that screen resolution and viewing angle that I was talking about. And the second is that it only connects with either a DVI cable or a VGA cable. So there's no HDMI here. It's a little bit outdated, but as long as you have those cables, you can get an adapter or just plug it right into your computer if it still has those ports. Another issue is that this screen only works if you're in mirroring mode. So when you plug it in, you can't use it as a second display. It only works as a mirrored display. I don't really know why. This seems like something that should be fixed, but even if you put it as a second display, it'll show a second display, but if you try to use the pen, it'll just control the cursor on your main display, and it's kind of weird, but I don't know why it does that. That's one thing that I didn't really like. And also you can't watch Netflix when this is plugged in because it doesn't have the right permissions. So what I ended up doing is just having it unplugged all the time unless I was using it. A little bit of a pain, but as long as you are okay with that, it's really not that big of a deal. So for $450, I definitely think this is a good way to see if you actually would like drawing digitally. Instead of going out and spending like $2,000 on your first one, you might not even like the experience just because you would rather use paper. So something like this is a good stepping stone to see if it's worth the investment in the long run. So anyways, that is the GT-190 from Huion. I'm really loving it so far, and if you want to check that out and get more information on it, check out the links in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe so you can see when I upload new videos. And also, if you have any questions, leave them down below and I'll get right back to you. Anyways, my name is Matt, and I'll see you guys next time. See ya!